Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is video number 1 out of 2. Yesterday, there were meant to be 2 videos, right? I did even tell you guys at the end of the video yesterday that there'll be video number 2. Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened except for Germany absolutely dismantling Scotland completely into not even pieces, ashes. Ashes. Listen, Scotland, the plane is right there. The engine is still on. Just jump back on and come home, man. What are you guys doing? What are you know what? That was so bad from Scotland, right? That no matter what happens to England, it just won't be the talking point once all of this is said and done, isn't it? Unless England win the whole thing, then of course we will be the talking point. But if we won't, which I don't expect us to, I don't think it's going to be as bad as what we saw from Scotland yesterday. So that's basically all that happened. And I wasn't going to give you guys just a match review of Germany-Scotland because I'm not going to be able to cover all the games like that throughout the entire Euros, except for England. And talking about England, there will be a match preview for tomorrow's game later on tonight. That will be video number 2 alongside any news that comes out as well. So make sure you guys are tuned in to catch up with all the latest and to hear my thoughts on the preview for England, well, Serbia versus England that's taking place tomorrow. But Germany looked brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Holy you know what. That was fabulous from Germany. But I have to be honest here. I know people are getting excited, very excited over Germany, but Scotland were poor. We have to say that as well. Scotland were poor, really poor. From minute 1, poor. They left space. They didn't defend. They were making rash decisions. They weren't getting stuck in. They weren't tight enough. They were letting way too much space. I mean, was it the first goal for Germany? There were so many goals, I lost count. But who scored the first goal for Germany? And literally running into the box, unmarked. No one's marking him. Manages to hit it on the edge of the box. And the goalkeeper should be saving it, but he doesn't. He should be fisting that away. Instead, he doesn't. He leaves a very open and flimsy palm, goes over his fingers into the post, hits the post and goes in. But who scored it shouldn't have been left with that much space in the first place. He was unmarked, red carpet settings, and that was basically summing Scotland up. After that, it was just a horror show. Absolute horror show. Crazy tackles, penalty given, red card, correctly so, leg breakers. Scotland, you let yourselves down way too much. Way too much. So I was expecting more from Scotland. I thought they were going to try and just go the first 45, just defend, really tighten up, make it hard, make it, tough for Germany to move the ball, get in their face. And then who knows? They got exposed way too early. 18 minutes, 2-0 down, game over. Then a red card, you're finished. Like I said, Scotland, the engine is still on. Get back on the plane and come home. Just don't bother. Just don't bother. So that sums up what happened yesterday. So you see how quick that was to sum up. I wasn't going to do a whole video on that. But, like I said, England tomorrow, preview later on, so make sure your eyes are peeled there. Let's jump into the latest in terms of the news. We do have Euros games today as well. Spain, if I'm not mistaken, play Croatia. Italy, what are the games today? Let's go through them. There's Hungary, Switzerland. Then there is same group as Germany and Scotland. Then there's Spain, Croatia, and Italy, Albania. So I will be uploading in and around that time. We would have already seen the Spain results, so I will be talking on that. And the Italy game will either have would have already started or would be on the brink of starting once I give you guys video number 2. So make sure you guys are here. The latest in terms of club football, there's some cool news and there's some really bad news. And we're going to end with the bad news. We're going to leave that to the end because it's been a tragic day. Overall for football, it's been a very tragic day. We'll leave that to the end. To start off with, the latest from Brazil. Medical tests, also completed for Willian Estevao as new Chelsea player in Brazil. So the latest is that the deal is done. Medical is done. Estevao Willian is on the brink of becoming an official Chelsea player. He will be joining at the end of next season. And the deal was 65 million euros.
Again, huge gamble. Huge gamble. I think there's an initial fee of 40 million euros that we'd be spending, and then obviously the rest will be add-ons and whatnot. But the whole package is 65 million euros, which equates to about just around 55-ish million quid, million pounds for those that don't understand quid. That's London for pound. So anyway, Estevao Willian on his way, and it just adds to the whole right wing dilemma, doesn't it? We know that he's going to be basically walking into the squad. Should he? I would want to see what he does throughout throughout the rest of next season, and then I would want to see how he manages to get himself into the Chelsea squad. I wouldn't just be like, "Yo, you've got a place. Come on in." Like, he's young, he's developing, he needs to play, he needs to grow. I don't think that he's automatically just it. Do you know what I mean? So we'll wait and see what happens in that regard. How do you think he's going to fit in? It's going to be tough, especially if we get Michael Olise through the door. Then that's where Madueke is in a bit of a pickle. So let's wait and see what's going to happen on that front. Let me know your thoughts down below. If we move to the latest on a certain striker coming out of Italy, AC Milan are scouting Broja tomorrow when he faces Italy. They want to sign him no matter what this summer. And as Matisse has said, I have to mention this and I have to show it. Stop scouting and bid then, you buffoons. Matisse has nailed that. I don't have anything else to add. That's exactly the truth. AC, look, if you want the player, bid. He's playing for Albania. Well, cool. That's not going to define him as a player overall. Like, it's one game. Bid. Just put the money on the table and take him, please. So, yeah, that's Armando Broja. But we will see what happens against Italy. Albania versus Italy. That's going to be an interesting one because Albania are seen as a team that are going to get eliminated early. Let's see what Broja can do. And let's see if Italy have woken up or not. Because they're a big question mark. Are they rejuvenated like Germany might actually have? Or are they still in a pickle? Well, we'll find out. And it's up to Broja to make a statement. And hopefully he does. So then, he can be sold for more. So we'll see what happens there. Now, another striker at Chelsea that has a set of circumstances, but has done something nice. Here's the latest on Nicolas Jackson. Nicolas Jackson had an injury suffered on international duty, checked in London before returning home to Senegal for his holidays. He delivered more than 20 boxes of clothes and boots from his first season at Chelsea to local kids in Ziguinchor in Senegal. Big up to Nico Jackson. It's mad. There's been a couple of instances now. Away from football, right? Let's forget football for a sec. As a person, right? He has shown that his morals are in a good place. Now, there's one saga, I think, that we can all go and we can say, okay, listen, I know you're young and you're maybe a little bit, thirsty, but chatting to certain people from certain places and whatnot, you know what I mean? Be careful. Don't go down that route, yeah? With women, don't go down that route. But, yeah, he's young and he's going to probably learn that the hard way. Anyway, aside from that, in terms of his morals, yeah, he has shown on instances, and this is the latest of them, that he is genuinely a good person and does think about others. And this is a really good gesture from him to take back to Senegal. And hopefully the local kids in Ziguinchor, if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm guessing that's just one of the places that he's familiar with in Senegal, are going to benefit from that. And hopefully it's the first of many. And as his career grows and he earns more, hopefully he can start launching projects and infrastructure, sports complexes, football pitches, hospitals, schools, that sort of stuff. Hopefully he can get involved, much like other players have. Sadio Mane has done that in Senegal, and hopefully Nicolas Jackson can take that example. So big up to Nico Jackson. Also says that he will be assessed again later in the summer in relation to his fitness, his injuries and whatnot. The African teams now don't need to play throughout the rest of the summer, so he's basically game free now. The African teams, I think, return to international duty in September. That's the next stage. So, doesn't need to play again. So he'll be ready for pre-season. Hopefully he's in good shape. We'll see what happens. Now, let's move back to international football. We've had one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, right? This will be debatable because many people have their own interpretation of who the GOAT is, right? For me, if you asked me, who is the greatest footballer of all time? Yeah? Forget accomplishments, teams, and what. As an individual, who is the greatest footballer of all time? I would tell you Ronaldinho. And that comes from someone that loves Zidane. Yeah? Because they had a rivalry. Ronaldinho is Ronaldinho. Complete. Has everything. Had everything. Now, you could argue his longevity wasn't there. And there were reasons for that, right? But in terms of attributes, what he had, yeah? Complete. He could do it in the air. He could do it with his left foot. He could do it with his right foot. He could dribble. He was quick. He was strong. He was pacey. He would bicycle kicks in the air, free kicks, penalties, long shots, short shots. But name it. He's done it. You could argue others don't have the full package. You know, Messi, for example, small guy, but for that reason, you're not going to expect him to score like header after header, are you? Ronaldinho could. Ronaldo, for example, has things that, due to his hard work and whatnot, that maybe Messi doesn't have. But Messi has things that Ronaldo won't have. You can't ask Ronaldo, for example, to have the ball glued to his foot and he just goes dribbling and flipping past 7, 8 players at the same time. He just wouldn't do that. He would run past, but dribbling, that's more messy. But Ronaldinho had everything. Had every single thing you could think of. He had it, right? He just wasn't serious as a Ronaldo, for example, because he just had complete natural talent and he just wouldn't have to bother in order to play really, really well. And hence how his career was a short one, but a flipping good one. Well, he spoke about the current Brazil team. I'm not going to say anything else until when we read it out. This is brutal from Ronaldinho as everyone gets ready for Copa America kicking off next week. In his interview, saying, "What should we expect from Brazil in the Copa America?" He replied with, "I'm not going to watch any of the games. Everything is missing. Determination, joy, not playing well. I'm not even going to watch one game." That's brutal. That is brutal. That is from a player like Ronaldinho. If I'm a Brazilian player, I am hanging my head in shame. And I can't blame him either. Aside from Vinicius, Rodrigo, and I say maybe Bruno Guimaraes, the level of that team is at an all-time low. And you know it. Everyone knows it. It's at an all-time low. We'll see how they do in Copa America. But this backs up my point that I mentioned yesterday in relation to Cafu, when he was talking about how he doesn't want Brazilian young players to come to the Premier League so early because they'll get destroyed. And correctly so, and I emphasized on that because there is a culture now within the young Brazilian population of if you give them a little bit of money, right, and a little bit of hype, they think they are it. Anthony was an example. Whereas if they get led down the route of maturity, keep your head down, work hard, they do have the talent in order to hit levels that are mad. But today's society doesn't help that. And a lot of young Brazilian footballers fall into the trap. Ronaldinho, to an extent, you could say was an example, but his talent was just stupendous that he would bail himself out. He didn't have to train hard, but you could imagine if he did train hard, his career would have probably been longer. Yeah. But he knows from his own mistakes and from the example of others and from the team and the levels that he used to play with, the teammates that he had, the quality that he had around him, the ballers that Brazil had in his generation are unparalleled. Unparalleled. He was playing with ballers like R9, Adriano, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo. I mean, Cafu, Lucio. Come on. Dida in goal. Come on. Brazil nowhere near that level. And that's why he's saying that. And I respect that. I think he's right. So, and I don't think that's exclusive to Brazil. I think that's the way modern football is going, and it's kind of sad. If I'm honest, it is sad. I think the levels have dropped. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Copa America. Let me know your thoughts. How do you think it's all going to go down? Now, before we end, this is where we get to the really bad news. If you want to switch off here, feel free. But it's only right that we talk about this and what has happened. Today is a tragic day for football. We start off at Millwall. Heartbreaking news that Millwall and Montenegro goalkeeper Matija Sarkic has tragically passed away aged 26. Thoughts with family, rest in peace, Matija. Now, Millwall have confirmed this. Millwall Football Club is completely devastated to announce that Matija Sarkic has passed away at the age of 26. He's their number one goalkeeper and passed away out of the blue. 26. My thoughts, condolences go out to Millwall, his family, his friends, everyone that are associated with him. It's a dark day. So there's nothing else to say. That's just really sad. And it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. This is a big loss for the world of football. This is a big one. Arsenal have said, we are devastated to learn that our former striker, Kevin Campbell, has died after a short illness. Kevin was adored by everyone at the club. All of us are thinking of his friends and family at this difficult time. Rest in peace, Kevin. Kevin Campbell, wow. This is a big one. This is someone from a generation that I grew up watching as a kid, right? So yeah, this is a big one. Kevin Campbell, his accomplishments for Arsenal, for Everton, he is a legend specifically for Arsenal and also for Everton. And from a time of where Arsenal under George Graham were top quality, this is a huge loss. And very young as well. At his age, he comes from the generation of Ian Wright and all these guys, the time of Alan Shearer and that generation. Kevin Campbell was a top baller, a top baller. Authentic, old school. And after a short illness throughout the month of June, I think at the beginning of June, he fell into illness and now he's passed away. So that's a huge one. My condolences again go out to his family, his friends, all at Arsenal, all at Everton, and even the fan bases, because when you lose one of your own, it hits. So to all the Everton fans, Arsenal fans as well, condolences to all of you as well. And to Millwall as well, and I don't hesitate to say any of that as a Chelsea fan. Rivalry aside, whether with Arsenal or whether an old school one like Millwall, we know that cuts deep. But all that aside, sports, football's football. My thoughts are with those fan bases as well, and it's a tough one. So condolences go out, and we end the video there. Let me know your thoughts down below on everything, and later on, video number 2. As I've said, preview for Serbia versus England, as well as all the latest that I will be given. Make sure you guys are here, much appreciated. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button in order to know when I've uploaded as well. Hit that notification bell. And don't forget the socials on screen and in the description. And I'll catch all of you later for video number 2. Have a good one, people. See you lot then. Enjoy the games that are going to take place as well today, the Euros, and we'll talk about it later. See you lot later on. Have a good one. Take care and peace.